It's been a few days since we talked about the Jonathan Taylor situation, and with Kenyan Drake just getting cut yesterday, it makes me curious exactly what we're trying to do with Jonathan Taylor and all the other running backs. So I thought, hey, let's dive into it. Okay. And the more I think about it, the more ideas come in my head of what could potentially happen and what we might be doing. And so we could go all over the place here. Okay. But I'm going to try to, keep it to the points that I know I want to hit. Right. And the first one is going to be that with Kenyan Drake getting cut, there's speculation that the Colts and Jonathan Taylor are moving closer to an understanding of him playing out part of this year before they start getting into contract extension conversation. So there's some level of excitement that comes with that, right? Like Colts Nation right now is optimistic about the Jonathan Taylor situation after Kenyan Drake gets cut, right? And Kareem Hunt had been in the building, didn't even worry about what he was doing with the Saints. He straight just left the Saints because we were going to offer him enough money to intrigue him to just hop on a plane and go to Indy, right? So Kareem Hunt left without signing that deal. Kenyan Drake being released from the team. So it just feels like in with everything that Jim Irsay has said, right? Like Jim Irsay, I think it was in the second preseason game, because that one was played in Indy, that he was talking about how they were excited to move forward with Jonathan Taylor and how he hopes to have Jonathan Taylor on the team come week one and that he thinks they'll be able to resolve this. So I think at the end of the day, there's been a lot of posturing from a business sense from both sides, and things certainly got much more ugly than they generally do in these types of situations. The Lamar Jackson situation, people aren't really talking about it, but I think that one kind of went the same way. They don't have an owner that's so outspoken like Jim Irsay is, but I mean, Lamar Jackson, there were reports that that relationship was so broken that it wasn't going to be able to be repaired. All right, and then Lamar signs one of the biggest deals in NFL history. Okay, so at the end of the day, business is business. Each side's going to have to do what they have to do. But with the season coming up, like deadlines make stuff happen. And at the end of the day, the truth is that the Colts have all the leverage. Like you can say what you want about Jonathan Taylor and how great he is. He's a great player and he deserves to get a contract for what he's already done. I get that. Like he's been criminally underpaid. Okay. I totally understand that point. But also, he's on his rookie deal. Like this is how the NFL works, man. Like you play out your rookie deal, and at the end of the day, situations are situational, right? If the Colts went 7-9 last year and Jonathan Taylor played all year, or only missed, even if Jonathan Taylor missed 3 or 4 games, right, but still ends up with 1,000 or 1,100 yards rushing, and 14, 1,500 total yards throughout the season, and like 6, 7 touchdowns, right? Like a modest year for what we saw from Jonathan Taylor in 2021. Then, in my opinion, it's like, okay, that would have gotten you the new deal, right? Even with the new coaching staff. Granted, if that happens, Frank Reich probably still here, right? Which even more so, if Frank Reich is still here and he's still playing in the same system, it's like, okay, if you're coming into this year healthy, boom, we'll give you the contract. Here we go. But the Colts don't have to give him a new contract. It's the way the contracts are set up through the CBA. They don't have to give him a new contract. And if he sits out this year doesn't count. And then it just whatever he's supposed to make this year just transfers over to 2024. So like there's there's really not much leverage for Jonathan Taylor at the end of the day, and the Colts know that. Like that's the cold hard truth, man. Like we talked about that in the last time we talked about Jonathan Taylor. That's why I put it on the thumbnail, man. That is the cold hard truth about this situation. So Jonathan Taylor doesn't have leverage. So when you take all that into account, and then you see that they're getting rid of Kenyan Drake, right? The veteran in the room, the guy that can go to different systems and make plays for different teams. Like I thought it made sense to keep him here with everything going on with Jonathan Taylor. But now that they've rejected offers from multiple teams and they've rejected multiple offers from the Dolphins themselves, Seems that they're pretty content with the fact and they're pretty sure that nobody's going to give them what they want. So they're content with the fact we're just going to keep Jonathan Taylor. We can let Kenyan Drake go and find another opportunity with other teams. So it would appear, at least at this point, that we are going to go into the season with a running back room that consists of Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss, Deion Jackson, and Evan Hull. Right. And the other option here, the other thing that comes to mind is that there was an understanding with Kareem Hunt that at some point Jonathan Taylor could or could not get traded. And in the likelihood that he does get traded, Kenyan Drake was let go so that Kareem Hunt could end up taking the deal that the Colts said that they would give him. And I'm assuming if it was enough to pull him away from whatever he was thinking about with the Saints so fast, I'm going to guess that the Colts are offering him a chance to make anywhere between $8 and $10 million, with most of that guaranteed, and the understanding that he would be the number one back in the offense. Okay, I feel like that's the contingency with Kareem Hunt. Because I know Kareem Hunt, he also went to visit the Vikings, which is doing his due diligence from a business sense, right? If we end up keeping Jonathan Taylor, then he doesn't come here. Maybe he does go sign with the Vikings, which would be smart on his end. You know, it sounds like they're going to give him less money, but it would be a chance to have a number one back opportunity with Alexander Madison, right? And they'd be a good 1-2 punch for the Vikings. But I think we all understand that even as Kareem Hunt's getting older, like what we've seen from and the fact that he hasn't had to get the usage of a real starting running back because Nick Chubb has been there in Cleveland with him, like it just makes sense that, you know, Kareem Hunt would be the one there also. So there are multiple opportunities for Kareem Hunt, and the Colts are one that I could see still being a thing. You know, though that story went cold pretty quickly, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was the move if Jonathan Taylor does get traded. All right. And the third option is maybe Jonathan Taylor gets traded and we just bring Kenyan Drake back. Who knows, man? Like, I wouldn't really be opposed to that. I think if I had to pick between Kareem Hunt and Kenyan Drake, I'd probably pick Kareem Hunt, but I like Kenyan Drake as a person too. So we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens. Love to know what you think of these proposals and what do you think we should do about Jonathan Taylor? What do you think we should do about our running back situation? You know, and Kareem Hunt and Kenyan Drake and everything. Like, what's your opinion? You know, you let me know down in the comment section. And of course, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on to stay up to date on more videos like this and more Colts news as it comes out. I expect today to be a pretty busy day for roster moves across the NFL, with Tuesday being the deadline to cut rosters down to 53. And again, I will get that information to you as soon as I possibly can. And with that said, as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.